Loads and loads of new transmogs are added in patch 10.15 in many different shapes and forms and from different sources, and we're going to take a look at all of those and see how you can get your hands on them. We start with legacy crafting patterns. I have divided the crafting patterns into 3 parts: the Lord Run patterns, the Frozen Rune gear, and also the Dire Mouse / Wailing Caverns. When it comes to the Lord Run patterns, it seems that you will be able to craft tier 3 gear. That was the gear we had way back in the days when Naxx was located in Eastern Pleagland in Eastern Kingdom, and this was back in Vanilla WoW. You'll be able to craft weapons from Naxx as well. This crafting is tied to a big storyline with Naxx and also Scholomance, and even go back in time and you will see how Scholomance was back in the days. You will have stuff like Argent Dawn buff back again. The Argent Dawn Valid tokens are coming back in another form. You'll start farming Scourge Stones again. And all in all, it's a long process in order to craft the cool tier 3 gear that has been removed and now coming back. When it comes to the Frozen Rune gear, we're gonna go back to the Wrath of Lich King expansion. And back then, we had a crafting pattern called Frozen Gear Set, which had frost resistance on it that player used back in the days. One of the crafting items needed in order to craft this was removed from the game, and players could not craft it anymore. But in 10.15, these frozen runes that was needed, that got removed, they are back. You will find these runes on walls inside the boss rooms of Naxx, and it seems that you will be able to craft frozen gear once again. When it comes to the Dire Mouse and Wailing Caverns, we're getting back some legacy patterns that was removed from those 2 dungeons. These patterns are for leatherworking and for tailoring, mainly leatherwork, and you will learn them by finding those patterns inside those dungeons again. Time Rift Vendor. The Time Rift event will have 7 different vendors with transmogs. These transmogs are themes from 7 different alternative worlds tied to the event. For example, the Asmon world is where the Scourge has taken over with the Lich King. The Azmerloth world is where the Demon has taken over. You will be able to buy these transmogs by collecting a currency called Paracasual Flakes, which you will get from doing the Time Rift event coming in patch 10.15. Now, these vendors will sell you everything from cool armor to loads of different cool gear, and of course they will have mounts and pets added to it as well. Kalimdor Cup reward. With the new Dragon Racing Kalimdor brings also a new vendor where you can buy an entire outfit of something called the Drake Racer's Silk. You can buy them with badges that you will get when you complete different dragon races. Quantum weapons. In a new mega dungeon in Dawn of Infinite, you'll be able to loot quantum weapons and quantum armor from the last boss. These quantum items will turn into a transmog that you have not collected before. When it comes to armor, there are 5 armor slots: chest, legs, gloves, shoulder, and headpiece. So basically, there are no quantum items for back, wrist, waist, and feet. When it comes to the weapons, there are 17 weapon types, and there are quantum items for all of them. Everyone in the group will get a quantum item 100% loot from the last boss. So what type of transmog does a quantum item become? You will get a random transmog item that you have not collected before from previous expansions. I've done over 20 runs killing the last boss of Mega Dungeon and comparing it with 5 players in that dungeon, and my conclusion is the following. The quantum can become common, rare, or epic. We have seen that it can be a wide item as well. The items vary from previous boss loot, trash loots in raids / dungeons, and also world drops. I have not seen that the items comes from any quests. The items can be very easy to get normally, and also it can be items that are really hard to get normally. BFA Azerite armor has popped up in there. Tier transmogs has not popped up in there. At the moment on the PTR, you can get quantum items that is actually not for your class, which means you cannot learn it and get it as a transmog. Hopefully that will be changed when it goes live. The quantum items are not bind on equip. The quantum items are not bind on account. It is soulbound for you when you get it. You can, however, trade it with other players inside the dungeon that you are with. We're also getting 2 new Zolek set variants. These variants are called Cavern Delverge gear, which is a Zolek cavern set that we have seen before. So these are like new variants of them. One is called Dawn of the Infinite look. It's also called the Bronze Dragonflight look. The other one is called the Time Rift look, which is also called the Infinite Acolytes look. The full set of the Bronze Dragonflight look can be obtained from the Time Rift gear vendor, and also some pieces can also be obtained from the new Mega Dungeon. The full set of the Infinite Acolytes look can be obtained by completing the dungeon achievement where no one is allowed to die when you do a full clear of the Mega Dungeon. However, you can also get 4 out of those 9 pieces by looting them as gear from the new Mega Dungeon. The 4 pieces differ on each type of gear it is: plate, leather, mail, or cloth. For plate, you can loot feet, legs, chest, and hands. For leather, that got the jackpot, you can loot head, shoulder, wrist, and waist. For cloth, you can loot head, wrist, hands, and waist. And for mail, you can loot feet, waist, chest, and shoulder. One of the features added this patch is Transmog Tracking, which means that you'll be able to track some of the items and see where they come from. If you mouse over one of the items in your Transmog tab, it will highlight which items that you can actually track. If you shift click on it, it will list up those Transmogs that you can track. You can also select which one you want to track, and it's going to show you under your quest log on the right side of the UI which one you have selected, and on the map you can also see where to go. It will tell you what path you should take to get there and get those transmogs. However, this transmog tracking is only for stuff that we know like 100% where to go and get. Of course, transmogs that come from different places and transmogs hard to get, stuff like that, the tracking doesn't work there. Speaking of transmogs, and also transmogs for your dragon riding mounts. A new dragon riding skin color is coming for all 5 dragon riding mounts called Infinite Scales. In the new Mega Dungeon, Dawn of the Infinite, you'll be able to loot Infinite Scale from the last boss, and it has a very high chance of dropping. It is not a 100% drop, but all the runs I have done, it's either everyone gets 1 each, or maybe 2 out of 5 of the players will get it. And speaking of Infinite Scales, you'll also be able to get infinite horns for your mounts as well. At the moment on the PTR, it doesn't say where they come from. Also at the moment PTR, it's not for all the dragons, but I feel like it should be added for all dragons, and it will come out where they come from eventually. If you want to know it later on when this goes live, just head to the dragon riding transmog and mouse over that horn, and it will say where the source comes from. Secrets of Azeroth. A new event is coming out in 10.15 called Secrets of Azeroth, where the land is crawling with secrets, rarities hidden, treasures stolen, clues discovered. We need to find out who's behind all these things. This event comes out on August 31, and it will last for 2 weeks, and we will get new secrets every day that we need to figure out. This event is tied around certain rewards, such as mounts, transmogs, and pet. When it comes to transmogs, there are achievements that you can complete where you can get different types of caps, the blue tweed cap, the brown tweed cap, and so on, that gives you this cool detective look. Legacy raids. They have also made it easier to actually get transmogs from previous expansions, and the one I'm talking about are legacy raids. There's now a skip to directly go to Garrosh and seize the Orgrimmar raid by interacting with the banner next to the lore walker show when you enter the raid. So if you are going for something that Garrosh can drop, that's perfect for you. Also, in 10.15, you can now solo queue for Shadowlands LFR raids. Just talk to Telefar, the NPC in Orbo's Enclave, and choose what wing you want to enter. Now, indirectly speaking of transmogs, we also have to speak a little bit about different looks that is coming out as well. For Worgens, before we had 11 different fur colors, but now in 10.15, 5 new fur colors are added. 4 of them are different patterns, and 1 is an entire 1 color fur that we have never seen before. When it comes to Magar Orcs, we're getting a new eye color, which is the orange eye color that you can choose now instead. Instead of races, we're going to talk about the class, which is the Warlock, and the Warlock class is getting new changes and additions in 10.15. Warlocks will be able to become more races, which are Night Elves, Draenei, Lightforged Draenei, Pandaren, Kultiran, Tauren, High Mountain Tauren, Magar Orcs, and Zandalari Troll. Warlocks will also get new pet customizations. All Warlock pets can now be customized in the barbershop. You can also unlock colors for your pets from looting and also from new Warlock questline. So what about mounts and mount riding? Well, first things first, learning mount riding has been changed. Paying gold to learn different types of riding is now removed. Instead, you will learn them automatically once you reach certain character levels. Level 10 is the Apprentiate riding, level 20 is Journeyman riding, level 30 is Expert riding, and level 40 is the Master riding. So you get this actually for free now. You will also get Alliance or Horde mount based on what faction you are, or if you want to roll both, you will get both new mounts in 10.15. A new Horde mount and the Alliance mount is added to the patch, and to get this faction mount, you must ding level 30 on a character, and when you do that, you get a quest called Time to Fly, which leads to the mount reward. There are some bugs at the moment on the PTR where you can get this quest as level 70 character if you head to Borealis in DFA, but we will see if they will fix that before this goes live. Time Rift mounts. There are 7 new mounts added in the Time Rift event from the Time Rift vendor. These mounts are recolored mounts from previous expansions. Reins of the Quantum Courser. The Reins of Quantum Courser is an extremely rare item that can drop from the last boss Chronolore Deos boss in the Dawn of the Infinite, the new mega dungeon. It's a one-time use item when you actually get it and use it, and it will give you a random mount from one of the previous expansions. The mounts we have seen so far are Reins of the Infinite Time Reaver, Cartel Master's Gear Glider, Marafang's Reins, and the Midnight Eternal Reins. Jumping back to the Secret of Azeroth again, there's actually a mount that is tied to that event. So if you jumped over chapters now on the YouTube video, Secret of Azeroth event is a new event coming out where we have to find out different clues and secrets every day for 2 weeks, and it starts August 31. And this is tied behind achievements and rewards. And one of those achievements are Who Done It, where you have to figure out each of the following secrets that surface during the Secret of Azeroth event, and this will give you the mount called Patty. And the last mount we're going to talk about is one called Valiance, which we actually don't know so much about how to get. The only thing we know is that there is a discovery called Variance, and it's tied to Naxxramas, and the info we get is that it says most undead steeds have their riders chosen for them. Valiance, on the other hand, chooses its own rider. So we will see eventually how to get this mount. And since a lot of things that has to do with legacy patterns and crafting is hidden now from the game, from the PTR, most likely that when that comes out, Valiance will also show up there and how to get it. Cool! Now, if you stayed this long to watch this video and you find it interesting and you think you'd like it, then please leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. You will find me on worldofmoody.com, where all these things I'm saying is on written guides on the website. You'll also find me on Twitter, where I update everything I'm doing, daily updates of stuff that I'm finding, stuff that is cool, that has to do with WoW. All these things I'm talking about, all these things I'm finding, all the things I'm doing, I'm actually doing all the time live, so you can actually watch me and help out if you want as well. Most appreciated, and we can have a good time together figuring cool stuff out. And that is on twitch.tv/moody. Alright, my friends, until next time.